Greetings loyal subscribers and honoured guests. We're up to episode 6 today, and there's been a bit of a time jump because there were no cover tapes on ZZapped issues 46 to 49. There are 3 items for us to look at today, and I nearly missed the third one because it was not included amongst the tap files that I had for these tapes. I did manage to find Martin Walker's music programme on CSDB eventually though, so we're all good. Let's get stuck in then. First up, we have a one-level demo of Phobia, which is a horizontal shooter developed by Tony Crowther. If you've been watching these videos for a while now, you probably won't be surprised by what I'm about to say next, but this game is incredibly hard. Thankfully, it is not just me being crap, the game actually has something of a reputation for being difficult. I remember watching Geigerpunk try out the Amiga version a while back, and he did make it further than I have managed to here, but not by much. This particular level features all sorts of nasty flies, insects and arachnids. It's enough to make your skin crawl. Blah. Sometimes a power-up will be dropped when you wipe out an attack wave of flies, and these include things like improved firepower, spread shots and bombs. Fairly standard stuff for this type of game really. Seems like a fairly solidly made shooter at first glance, and I do enjoy this sort of game, so I could see myself putting some more time into it, probably with the aid of a trainer. For now though, let's see what the ZZapped team made of it. First up we have veteran reviewer Robin, who says, "The multiple level parallax scrolling really does work well, and each new multi-loaded level is a real adventure." Then we switch over to Stu, who adds, "On the later levels, survival seems virtually impossible." They ended up awarding the game a score of 92%, summing up with, "A superlative shoot-'em-up chock-a-block with colour, graphic detail and scarifying levels." After reading their review, I definitely want to see more of the game, as there are a ton of different levels, with the one based around the theme of death sounding really cool. Who doesn't love little skeletons popping out of coffins? The other game that came on this tape was also the product of Tony Crowther, and it kicks off in a very cinematic fashion with credits for job titles such as Key Grip and the like. When you get into the game itself, it's a rather odd experience and a frustrating one at times. You pilot a little wedge-shaped ship through the various isometric levels, barreling down hallways. If you hit a wall or a wedge-shaped block, you will bounce off in another direction, either directly back the way you came if the wall was flat, or at a right angle depending where you collided with the triangular wedge. This is where the game grew a bit frustrating for me, because the hallways are incredibly long, and especially while you're still getting used to the game, you will spend ages pinging backwards and forwards down the same hallway. This is actually a remixed version of the original game with different levels, which is a nice thing for those who have already played the original and beaten it. I did check out the older version as well, and I was able to make more progress in that than this version. Eventually there will be targets on the wall that you need to shoot in order to open up other paths elsewhere. This is a neat little action game, but I'm not sure I have the patience required to fully get to grips with the little ship, the viewpoint and the changes in elevation that you need to make. Enough about me though, it's time once more to hand over to the ZZapped reviewers for a quick summary of their thoughts. Steve Jarrett said, "At first I hated it, the control is very fiddly and confusing." After that he says he changed the control method, which I wasn't aware you could do, and started to enjoy it a lot more after that, so I may have to investigate that further. Paul Sumner then added, "This game is just so much fun. From the moment you flip around the first corner to the instant you lose your last life, you're hooked." He also mentioned that the prize for collecting all 8 crystals is, according to the game's official scenario, possibly the 13th dimension, untold riches, or a weekend for 2 in Bognor. I couldn't help but chuckle at that last bit, as I have lived in Bognor my entire life. Just like Phobia, Zig Zag also earned a score of 92%, with the summary, "An unusual but highly polished shooting and exploring game." It's certainly an interesting game, but I'm not sure it's for me. Finally, we have Martin Walker's music, which is similar to the Delta Mixi-Load program that was found on the sampler tape, except you don't really get to play around with the music in the same way, just listen to it. There are some quality tunes to sit back and enjoy here though, so it's a nice addition to the tape overall. So that brings us to the end of episode 6. I'm definitely going to go play Phobia some more, with infinite lives turned on of course, but I don't think I'll be going back to Zig Zag. There are still lots of tapes left to go though. Next time I'll be looking at Megatape 6, which didn't appear until issue 61, some 10 months after this one. You won't have to wait that long for my video though, just 2 short weeks. So I'll see you again then, and in the meantime, take care.